Hi teachers. Today we're going to talk about how to use Google Classroom's assignment feature and how to use differentiated instruction in doing so. This is a relatively new feature in Google Classroom, and it's one we can definitely take advantage of just to be able to ensure that your students get the proper instruction that they need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with my Google Classroom here. I'm just so I don't put any students' names online. I'm using our art show prep page to do this demonstration. So I'm going to click up top here on classwork, and when I go to classwork, you'll see this. This is kind of the landing page right here. From here, if you click create, it'll ask you what you want to do. Even if you change your mind halfway through, like say you start out with an assignment and you go and you say, oh, I should have made this into a quiz, you can still do that. So I'm going to go ahead and make an assignment here. And it's going to ask me to title it, and I will say homework for 3/18/20. And I will say on the instructions here, obviously you can be a little more descriptive than that, but once you do that, down here you have an option. If you click add, it's going to take you to options of finding something that's already made. If you have something saved in your Google Drive, if you are linking to an outside website, if you have something saved on your actual physical computer that you want to upload, or if you're linking to a YouTube video. So that the ad with the little paperclip is for stuff that already exists. If I go to create, it gives me an option to either create a new document, slides, sheets, drawings, or forms. This is where you could say, oh, I did want to make this a quiz, and maybe you use a Google form there. And the great thing is it doesn't have to exist. You can build it right here. It's going to take you out of this window for a second, but don't forget that everything in Google Drive, which is what this all links to, everything in Google Drive auto-saves. So you don't have to worry about losing this page. You don't have to worry about not saving your next page. Everything saves pretty much automatically in that case. So we're going to go to create a new doc here, and it shows it being created there. And here's my document. I'll call this, I always title it first just so things don't get confusing and I don't end up with a bunch of untitled documents in my drive. So we'll call this one 3/18/20 homework. And I'll put down a bunch of questions here. Doesn't really matter what I type here, so we'll just put this in there. Give myself a little space here so the kids have room to answer the question. And there we go. 3 completely illegible questions for the kids to answer. Okay, so now that I've got that, it auto-saved. If you notice right up here, it's got the title on it already. This links immediately back to my Google Drive. You can see right here, all changes saved in Drive. It's there, you're good to go. Now the weird thing is, back over here, it's still going to say Untitled Document. That's okay. You can leave it as that. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to switch this right here. Right now, they can only look at this file. It works like Drive in this case, where if I leave it on this setting here, only the students will only be able to look at that particular copy. So I want to switch this to make a copy for each student. And now, when the kids log into their Google Classroom, they'll see their assignment, and then they'll see this right here. Okay, so right now, as it stands, I've got my assignment titled, I've got some directions, I created a document, which is still right here, by the way, that is linked here, and when I say go over here eventually, every student's going to get a copy. But here's where the differentiation comes in. Maybe you don't want every student to have a copy. Say, for example, maybe this is for your general education population, and you have something with a bit different wording, or maybe some audio directions that you want to give out to any students with special needs in your class. That's where you can come over here. So right now, I see that this is going to be assigned to art show prep. Here, if I really wanted to, I could turn on all the rest of my classes too. I could turn on a few and say, okay, this assignment is also for graphic design. It's also for drawing fundamentals. So right now I'm just going to leave it for art show prep. And then for all students, right now it defaults to having all of them selected. So the cool thing is I can turn that off, and maybe I want to give this particular assignment only to Pete and David. And then maybe Carrie and Elena would get something different. Props to you guys, by the way. Thank you for letting me use your name, even though you didn't know I was going to do that. So now we'll set that there, and we can set a due date on this. We'll say that this is due on the 20th, and you can put a time in if you want to. I'm just gonna. If you don't put a time in, it's just going to make the run out time be 11:59 at night. You can assign a topic to it if you want. I haven't created one yet, but you can. You can also add a rubric if you so choose. You can create one here. You can reuse one. You can import one. So there's all kinds of things you can do. Originality reports. I'm looking at you, mainly ELA teachers, but I'm sure there's some other teachers out there. Some maybe in the social studies department or somewhere where you're going to want to check for originality. Cool thing about this little button here is if you click it, it scours the web to see if there's any other instances of that exact text on there. So if if Pete decides that he's going to go through and just copy and paste something in there, Google Classroom is going to throw an alarm up for me that says, "Hey, take a look at this." So that's what you can do there. Over here on assign, this is pretty much the same as your posts. You can either assign it right now, you can save it for later if you've got to go eat lunch, and then come back and work on this later, or you can schedule it. Maybe I'm making an assignment for tomorrow or down the road. I could go ahead and schedule that too. So I'm going to hit assign. And when I'm assigning it right now, it thinks about it for a second. There we go, and I have assignment created down over here. And there you see it right there. So when I come back to my stream, now you can see that I posted a new assignment for 2 students. Now for those 2 students, it'll show up. For the other 2 students, it will not. Over here, when I click on that, you can see that I've got my layout right here. It shows me the 2 students I've assigned to. And over here, it shows me that they both got a copy of that. Cool thing is, when I go to click on David's here, I can read his answers. He can type right on this document, and when he's done, he's going to submit it to me. Once he's done that, it will say, let me go back here real quick, it'll say 1 turned in and 1 assigned, assuming that Pete didn't do his. So then when I see that, I say, oh good, I can grade this now. And then you can also assign the grade for that as well. I did not change my points on here. I made it worth 100 points. Seems a lot for 3 questions you can't read, but I could go ahead and change that if I wanted to, make it worth a different point total. The other thing that's really cool is you can also comment back to the kids here. You can post that too. So I'm just going to type here, great job, David. And then I'll hit post. So even before I've gone to return this document to him, that's posted to him right there. Now, he didn't submit it to me yet, so I can't return it. But if it was submitted and it was graded, I might be able to. Let's try that. Hey, there we go. So I can go ahead and hit return right now, and that lets David know that I did grade his work and it's been submitted. And if I come back over here and I refresh my page, then you'll notice it says that nobody else has turned one in yet. One's been assigned. That's still Pete's. It's still out, and one's been graded. Then I could also go back and add my different assessments for my other 2 students too. This is also linkable to your progress book, but I believe that's another video, so we'll save that for another time. If you have any questions on this, again, you can contact either myself, Cameron Diedrich, or Ben Spieldenner. We'd be able to answer any questions. I'm available on Hangouts and by email if you want to get a hold of me. Thanks very much, and good luck with